Hey everybody. Okay, so for tonight's homework, we were doing the math page 159 and 160. In class, on all three classes, we did problems 1, 2, we did the front page 1 through 11. But I'll go through here because I did this on the board, but I didn't put it on the sheet. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done. Remember that we find the value of n, whenever we're dividing by decimals, it's the same as we're thinking of for every tenth, it's dividing it by 10. For every hundredths, we're dividing that by 100. For every thousandths, we divide it by 1,000. And so you should have had all of these down already. So let's go to number 10. Mr. Baker drives 24 and 5/10 miles to his cousin's house. He drives 1/10. I'm going to kind of highlight that part right there. Let's see if I can get that highlighted. 1/10 as many miles to his nephew's house. So here, this is going to be cousin 24. So I'm going to take 1/10 of 24 and 5/10. So I'm going to go ahead and just write that out. Now I know that when I take 1/10 of it, in our notes we said that was same as taking the 24 and 4/10, and this is the drive to the cousin's house. And to get to the nephew's, it's going to be 1/10 of that drive, so I'm going to divide that by 10. Because I have 1 0 here, I'm trying to draw a straight line. I'm going to, and here's my decimal right there. I'm going to move my decimal to the left. So I'm going to rewrite it. And actually, I can't type it out because it won't come out. I ran into that problem earlier. I don't have the transparency. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite 24. Oops, that was really big. And 4/10. 24 and 5/10. And I'm going to move it over because I have 1 0. So I'm going to move it to the left. 1. So it's going to actually take him, and now I'll type that out. 2 and 4,500 miles to his nephew's house. Make sure that you identify every number on what it means. All right, so let's go to number 11. Elena sews sequins on a skirt for the dress for the dance rehearsal. She sews 100. I'm going to highlight that 100 sequins from end to end along the length of the skirt. I'm going to kind of like draw out. Actually, I wanted to use my drawing pen. I'm going to draw out the length of the skirt and kind of make that the waistband and draw the length of the skirt. And I know that the length of the skirt is 50 centimeters. And I'll put this sequence along this side. She put 100 of them. Okay, so I'm just going to be putting dots, 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 dots. So she put 100 of the sequence on the side, right? So it's asking, what is the length of one sequence? So I'm going to go ahead and write out the equation. I know that the skirt is 50 centimeters long. So I'm going to have the 50. I'm going to divide that up by 100 because I need to find out the length of each of the 100 sequence. Because I have 2 zeros, I'll make that a little darker. I have 2 zeros. I'm going to move my decimal over. So I'm going to write this, I think this is what I have, equals, and I'm going to write my 50 out here. I'm going to just repeat my dividend. And then to get my quotient, I'm going to put the decimal in the correct place. So I see that I'm going to move it over to the left twice using a different color. My decimal will always be at the end of the ones place. So now I'm going to move over one decimal, two decimals. And so I can now see that the length of one sequin is 50 hundred centimeters, or 5/10 centimeters, because it means the same thing, right? Or, I'm trying to draw the or, 1/2 centimeter. So no matter which way you wrote it, and I'm going to put the word long. And let's just try to do my best for the writing part. Okay, so I know that 50 hundredths centimeter, or 50 hundredths, is equivalent to 5/10. So I'm going to have a 50 cent, half of a dollar is the same as 5 dimes, 5/10, which is also the same as 1/2. So whichever one you put down, it is correct. All right, let's move over here for number 12. An online bookstore ships boxes with a copy of the new bestseller in each box. Now, the total weight of the shipment is 1,200 pounds. That's the total weight. If each box weighs 1 2/10 pounds, how many boxes are shipped? All right, well, I'm just going to kind of go through here and then I'm going to show you. Um, First of all, if the division just confuses you, I'm going to multiply. Is 1 2/10 times 10 equal to 1,200 pounds? Nope. Is 10,000 times 1 2/10 equal to 1,200 pounds? Nope. Is 100 times 1 2/10 equals to 1,200 pounds? Nope. But 1,000 is, and the answer is here. Now, what I'm going to do is show you, let's see if I have any space here. One, two. All right. Because I'm going to be moving my decimal in, so I have 1,200, and I'm going to divide that by 1 2/10, right? Well, to move this decimal over, I need to multiply that by 10. And so that would be, oh my goodness, I'm going to pause this for a second so I can get my pins right. Hold on. Okay, so let me erase this part here and see if I can write it a little bit clearer. Okay, so I have the amount of the weight, which is 1,200 divided by 1 2/10. That's going to equal. All right. Now remember, we were going to make this into a whole number, this part right here, right? We're going to make that into a whole number. Let me see if I can find my script. I'm not going to work. Okay, so I have to, in order to move my decimal over, I need to multiply that by 10. 1 2/10 times 10 is going to be 12. But I've got to do the same thing over here, which means I'm going to move it over. I'm just going to change that color, and I'm going to add in a 0 to that. So now it looks like a 6. That's a 0. So now it's going to look like I have 12,000 divided by 12. So when I take care of that, I know that 12 goes into 12 one time, and I have 3 zeros left. So that would make it 1,000. And I'll explain it a lot better tomorrow because I have more room to write on. And I'm just trying to get it in there. And didn't have time to go back to the classroom and do it on paper. Okay, so I hope you can understand that. If not, see me in the morning. Number 13, and we're going to go over it tomorrow in class anyway. 13, a car dealership uses 1,350 gallons of gasoline to fill the tank. That's going to take, that's of 100 cars. So this is 100 cars, and I'm going to change the color over here to make it a little bit of a different color, do a lighter color there. Oh, I thought it was going to work. It didn't work. Okay, so now I'm going to divide. So here I have 1,350 divided by 100. How many zeros do I have? 2. So I'm going to rewrite this because I'm going to go ahead and erase this out so that I have more room. Then I'm going to come back over to my pen. I have 2 zeros. I'm going to switch out colors and underline my 2 zeros. That means I'm going to move in my dividend. I'm going to write out it 1,350. I'm going to move it twice to the left, 1, 2. And so how many cars or how much gas will each tank hold if I'm going to fill up 100 cars? So I'm going to be able to put in 13 and a half, or because I can eliminate this. So the answer is A, 13 and 5/10 or 13 and a half gallons. Okay, let's move down to here. On number 14, we're looking at equations. So which equation shows the number of grams of almonds in one large bag? Well, let's look at this sentence or the story here. It says that Violet sells homemade granola at the Saturday market. Now, her recipe makes 10 large bags of granola or 100 snack-size bags. And we're going to use her recipe at the right to answer 14, 15, and 16. So again, the equation shows the number of grams of almonds. So I'm going to highlight the almonds in one large bag. Remember, it says that it makes 10. We just need to know 1. So I'm going to take the 750 and 2/10 and divide that by 10. So I can find out how much is in one large bag. Okay. All right, let's move to the next one. Number 15, multi-step. What is the total number of grams of oats and sunflowers? I'm going to change my highlighter. Move that over to, I'll do the blue. And I need oats and I need sunflowers. So I need to add those two together. So I'm going to write down 3,000 first. My decimal always come after the ones place, and I'm going to put a zero as my hero right next to it because I noticed in the sunflower I have a decimal number. So I'm going to place the decimal underneath that decimal. To the right, I notice there's a 5/10. I'm going to place that there. The ones place, I have a 0. The tens place, I have a 5. And the hundreds place, I have a 4. So now I'm going to add these up, and it's 3,450 and 5/10. Now it says that I'm putting it in one large bag. Well, I know that it makes 10 large bags, so I'm going to divide that by 10. And I'm going to move my decimal to the right. Let me change pens again. Here's my decimal. I'm moving it to the right. So what's the total number of grams of oats and flower seeds in one of the large bags? You're right. It's going to be A, 3,4,500 and 5 hundredths. So 345 and 5 hundredths grams. Okay, now let's look at number 16. How many grams of sunflower seeds are in 2? So I'm going to erase this part here. And I'm just going to change the color pen. Let's do green. There's sunflower seeds, right? But it says 2 snack size servings. So I'm coming over here and I have 450 and 5/10, but it said 2 of them. So what am I going to do? Absolutely. I'm going to either multiply that by 2 or just double it up. And to double it up, I'm just going to use my addition. 5 plus 5 equals 10. Bring down my decimal. 0 plus 0 plus 1 is 1. 5 plus 5 is 10. Regroup. 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Times, I want you to take a look at that. Move this up. In our story, it says that there's 100 snack size bags. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to go ahead and erase this part here so I have more space. You need to go back to it, just rewind, and it will be there. Okay, so now I have 901 divided by 100. How many zeros do I have here? Very good, I have 2. So I'm going to move my decimal. I'm going to rewrite that to 901. Move my decimal to the left. My decimal will be right here. And I'm going to just go ahead and move it over. So 1, 2. So how much will be in one bag out of 100? Absolutely right. The answer is D, 9 and 100 grams. All right, and that was it for this evening. Again, we went over the other stuff. Those of you that have been absent, I will go over that with you tomorrow and then create a separate video along with the notes. All right, have a great night. I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Bye.